Gmsshamaryamuk, Napash. Okay, you know, praise Yahweh, you know, double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and honor that to the brethren on the highways and byways, teaching the truth in all sincerity. Okay, today's lesson is going to be about the promise, man, because the promise that pertaineth to Israel is a promise that's been passed down through generation to generations, beginning with our forefather Abraham. Okay, and through his sons Isaac, and you know, getting passed down to Jacob, which you know extends to the 12 tribes. Okay, and that's been a promise that's been passed down, like I said, throughout time, man. And you know, the Most High promised Abraham and subsequently Isaac and Jacob and the 12 tribes, you know, these things that we speak about on highways and byways, man. You know, the kingdom pertaining to us, and all the blessings and you know everything that comes with that, man. Being the Lord's chosen people, because at the end of the day, the Lord really is and truly is a separatist, man. Okay, he's never dealt with anybody else like he's dealt with his chosen, who he picked. Okay, the Lord's always picked somebody, man. Somebody's benefited from the Lord picking them. Okay, Adam was picked out of man. Okay, and then his line, you know, certain of his line was picked. Noah was picked. It wasn't all of Adam's sons. You know, it was just Noah. You know, so the Lord is a true separatist, man, and he's a racist. You know, and he has favoritism, man. Okay, it's just, you know, we lucked out, man. You know, being of the seed of Israel, man. But we're just gonna go through. You know, what is stated in the scriptures, man. Okay, so we start off in Genesis 17 and verse 7, please.
Genesis 17 and 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant.
Actually, read up, because this is speaking about Abraham, man. I don't know if mentioned that in the top there, should do. Let's go up. Yeah, read from the top up.
Genesis 17 and 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the mighty, almighty power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Excuse me.
So a covenant is like a promise, man. Okay, it's a contract. Okay, which you know is usually upheld by both sides of the party to receive benefits from each other, basically. Okay.
It says, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and Yahweh talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right, so out of Abraham came many nations, man. Okay, a lot of the nations that are around us now, Elam, did I get that right?
Sorry, I was reading.
No, Abraham had lots of sons. Ishmael, the Ishmaelites come from Abraham. Okay, we're going to get into that in a second. Okay, but Abraham became a great patriarch of the world, man. Okay, but certain of Abraham's seed, okay, the Lord chose to exalt above others.
This is the sons of Abraham: Isaac, Ishmael, Jokshan, Midian, Zimran, Ishbak, Shua, and Medan.
Okay, and a lot of those sons became, you know, further down the line became great nations, man. Okay, but like I said, the Most High is a separatist, man. So out of Abraham's sons, he picked certain of them to be exalted higher than everybody else. Okay, and read 7.
Verse 7. Yeah. It says, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power.
Right, so that land, which was formerly known as Canaan, which is the land of Israel, it was promised to him. Okay, promised to his seed. Okay, but if you notice that not all of his seed, well, we're gonna go through it, but it was promised to a particular line of his seed, man. Okay, not everybody has inheritance in that land. Okay, the Lord already gave people their inheritance. Okay, the Lord already divided the lands for these nations to dwell in. The land of Canaan, the land of Israel, was specifically, for Israel, man. Okay, it was predestined for Israel. Okay, I'll give me Genesis 26 verse 1, please, up down to 4.
This is Genesis 26. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father.
Right, so this promise was passed down to Isaac. Okay, like I said, Abraham had many sons, but the promise was passed on to Isaac, because as a truth, those sons of Abraham did become nations. Okay, so the Lord held up his side of the bargain on that, where he said was true. Okay, but the particular promise, the great promise, was passed down to his son Isaac. Okay. What verse was you on?
Verse 4.
Yeah, read verse 4. Yeah.
I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
So in Isaac's seed, all nations of the earth will be blessed. Okay. So now the promise passed on to Isaac, and now the Lord saying your seed, okay, he's going to pass the promise on to your seed, Isaac's seed. Okay. But Isaac had more than one son. Okay, but like I said, the Lord picked a particular one out of his seed to bestow that promise upon. Okay. If we get Genesis chapter 27, okay, because Isaac had the sons Esau and Jacob, right? And we know Esau today is the so-called white man, okay? And Jacob is, well, us, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Okay, according to prophecy. So, two twins, even at that, two twins, okay? But the Lord picked one of them to bestow the promise upon, right? And it worked out because Esau was technically the firstborn. He was the firstborn, so he was meant to receive that promise. But the Lord had it where it was set up that Jacob would receive that blessing. Okay, so therefore that blessing was passed on to Jacob, and this is what was said, man, in Genesis 27 and 28, please up. Okay, this is what Isaac blessed Jacob with. Okay, he passed it on to Jacob.
Genesis 27 and 28. Therefore God give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Right, so we was blessed to be lords over the earth, over all nations upon the face of the earth. Okay, for every nation to bow down and reverence, man. Okay, that's the blessing of Jacob. Okay, that's what is supposed to materialize, man. Okay, and that's what's gonna materialize, because the Most High is gonna make good on his promise, because there ain't no promise that the Most High doesn't make good on, man. If the Most High said it, the Most High keep his word, man. Okay.
If I may add, that's how you know that the promise was passed down from Abraham unto Isaac unto Jacob, because the blessing of blessed be he that blesseth thee, and cursed be he that curseth thee, that was the same thing that was said to Abraham. So now it's only reiterating itself. The Lord keeps his promise. The same thing was passed on to onto Jacob. That wasn't said to Esau. And you can look in the text. I didn't see it passed on to Esau the same words.
No.
It went specifically down.
You know, because in this blessing he said that his brother basically would have to serve him, because he's another. His brother forms another nation on the earth, so he is subservient to Jacob, to Israel. Okay, because his name was later changed to Israel. But like I said, the promise is passed down to a particular member of that family line. Okay, and it becomes this whole new thing. Okay, we call it the line of the chosen, the line of the elect. But like I said, Abraham had Ishmael. Ishmael became a great nation, just like the Lord promised his sons would be. They become great nations. But that particular promise didn't fall down to Ishmael. Okay, it fell upon Isaac, and the Lord specifically said that, yes, you have Ishmael, but my blessing will be bestowed upon Isaac. Okay, and Ishmael was cast out. Okay, and the story continues with Isaac, because he's the promise bearer. Okay, he's the next one in line.
I've got just to back up the point I made. What was said with Abraham, which was also said with Jacob. This is Genesis 12:1. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto the land that I will shew thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now when you go back to Genesis 27 and what was it, 28?
Yeah, and 26 as well. We read it in 26 as well.
It says in verse 29, Genesis 27:29, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So that's the same thing.
Like I said, in the chapter before, in Genesis 26, it speaks about Isaac receiving that same promise, man. So it's a direct, succession.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, the Lord chooses who's gonna, hold that promise, man. Okay, it ain't down to nobody else. Everybody was fighting for, God's grace and God's love and approval and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's not been given to you. Okay, the Lord does deal with particular people. Okay, and people have to get, have to understand that, man. The Lord, He doesn't care about everybody else like that, man. Okay, and as much as you want Him to, the Lord has never dealt that way. Okay. Genesis chapter 35 and verse 10, please up.
Sorry?
Actually, 28 and 10.
Which one was it, Salakia? I was looking.
Genesis 28 and 10.
Genesis 28 and 10, Salakia. Alright, it's Genesis 28 and 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran.
Okay, so now we're running with Jacob, because Jacob is now the holder of the promise. Okay, Esau didn't get the promise, man. He got a secondary, lower level promise, or blessing, should I say, from his father. Okay, and because is Isaac's son at the end of the day, the Most High gave him that blessing, but he couldn't give him the same blessing as Jacob, because Jacob's blessing was on a higher level, man. Okay, yeah, continue reading that.
It says, and he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that people, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father.
Okay, so starting with Abraham again, okay, where the promise sort of began, okay. Alright, yep.
And the God of Isaac.
Okay, passed on to Isaac, yep.
The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
Alright, so that same land, Israel, he was in the land of Canaan. Okay, that same land was promised unto Jacob, unto Israel, okay, and to Israel, Jacob's seed. So not only, is it his seed also, okay. You don't know.
And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Alright, so Scripture tells you, man, Israel is as the sand of the sea, man. So not only Jacob was going to become great, okay, which brings me to the next one, 35 and 10, Genesis.
This is Genesis 35 and 10. It says, and God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called no more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
Right. So that name now is basically Son of God. Okay, Prince of the Power. Okay, which is a title that we held back at the beginning, before the flood. But Jacob was dubbed basically a son of God. Okay, Prince of the Power. Okay, read or not.
And he called his name Israel. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee.
Right. So Israel is like a nation, but a company of nations is a lot larger, because there's 12 tribes, and each tribe is like a whole nation on its own, a whole big nation on its own. Okay, that's why there's so many of us, man. Okay, and we're scattered around the whole earth. Okay, read on.
And kings shall come out of thy loins.
Yeah, read 12 as well.
And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to thee will I give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. Right,
so that's the promise right there being passed on. Okay, and the Most High every moment here has kept his promise. Okay, at every stage he's kept his promise to Abraham, to Isaac, and now to Jacob. Okay, so the Most High is going to keep his promise to Jacob also, or Israel also. Okay, like I said, it extends to the 12 tribes, which extends to us. Okay, the Most High has to keep his promise, man. Okay, he never let no one down. Okay, he always fulfilled his promise, man. Okay, Genesis chapter 48 and verse 3, please, Ark. Read down to the 6th.
This is Genesis 48 verse 3. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and will make of thee a multitude of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which are born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine.
Alright, so Joseph's sons were grafted in as a son of Jacob, of Israel, man. Okay, because Joseph was a son of Israel. Okay, but he took his two sons on, because where Joseph was taken into slavery into Egypt, he had sons in the land of Egypt. Okay, so he had sons by, Hamites, Hamite women and stuff like that, man. Because this guy's out there saying, if you got like a heathen woman, that you're not an Israelite. Okay, but that cannot be the case, man. Okay, because when was the first Israelite woman? Before Abraham and Isaac, man, they were all women that weren't Israelites. Because technically Israel hadn't been created yet. But that's all bullshit, man. Because like we're showing you right now, the promise is being passed down by men. Okay, to the seed of men, not to no woman. Women don't, they don't interfere with the equation of the promise, man. It's passed down on through the seed of those men. So regardless of who the woman is, it's still the man's seed. So that seed bears that promise also. Okay, and there's examples in the scriptures, with Jephthah, and you know, there's many examples of it in the scriptures, man. But people refuse to accept that. You know, that's whatever, man. You know, you haven't got the understanding. You know, that's just what it is. Okay, but yeah, Ephraim and Manasseh, they were grafted into the tribes of Israel. Okay, read verse 6 as well.
It says, "And thy issue which thou begettest after them shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. And as for me..."
That's it. Okay, so we're going to jump to Galatians chapter 3 verse 16 now. You know, because like we said, this promise is being passed down for a particular selection of people in a particular family line. Okay, it doesn't extend to everybody from Abraham or everybody from Adam. It never has done. The Lord has always cherry-picked people out to say, "Oh, you're special. Okay, I'm gonna promise you this. I'm gonna do this for you. Okay, if you follow me and believe in me and do what I command you, that you're gonna be blessed." The Lord's always done that. Okay, the Lord has never changed his method of selection. Yes, he's put everybody on the earth, but he hasn't picked everybody for the special calling, man, the special blessing. Okay, which is only rulership over the earth and to be continuously blessed for eternity, man. The Lord picked a particular line for that, particular family line for that, man. Okay.
Yeah, Genesis 3 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made."
Right, so the promises were made to Abraham's seed, but we just read that that promise was passed on to from Abraham to Isaac, to Jacob, Israel, and then to his sons. Okay, plus Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, which he basically adopted as his own, because they are his own.
Mm-hmm.
He's the grandfather of them, right? So we see that's how the promises was passed down. So this is what it's talking about. It's talking about that line. Okay, it's not talking about every son of Abraham. It's not talking about that. Okay, no, we don't know.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Yahushua.
Right. So all the line,
which is anointed.
Yeah, the line that led to Yahushua. Okay, so Yahushua came out of Judah, which is the son of Israel.
That's correct.
Okay, who is the son of Isaac, who is the son of Abraham. Okay, Yahushua didn't come from any other line.
Yeah, the scripture says it is evident.
It is evident. Yeah. Okay, he never come outside of Israel. He came. That was the line. That's how it followed. Judah, the line of kings, came out of Israel, and Yahushua came out of that line of Judah, man, as his prophecy. Mm-hmm. Okay, that it happened exactly how it is said. Okay, and the promise doesn't extend outside of that circle, man. It don't. Okay. Romans 9 verse 7, please.
This is Romans 9 verse 7. It says, "Neither because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called."
Right, so instilling the fact that the Most High picked Isaac, okay, out of the seed of Abraham, because like I said, Abraham had many seed, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he picked Isaac. He took Isaac out, just like Adam was taken out of man to tend the garden. Okay, Isaac was picked. Okay, and from Isaac, Ishmael was cast away, and Jacob was picked. It's like what was I saying, bro? Oh my god, my words mixed up.
Ishmael was cast away, but Isaac was picked, and it tells you that.
And then further on, Esau was cast away, and Jacob was picked.
That's correct.
Okay.
If I may, I'm going to come straight back to this. So going back into Galatians, the 4th chapter, just to build upon the brother's point, it says, Genesis 4 and 22, "For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman," which is after the flesh, right? "But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh," it says it, "and he of the free woman was by promise.
Promise. Okay, that was the son that Lord kept telling me he was going to have, that he was going to pass on, you know, this blessing. Okay, by Rebecca.
So when you go back to what Romans 9, it says, and I'll read it again from 7, it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Now here's the key point, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. Cut. Cut.
Alright. But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Oh
man, that's a badass cut.
You know?
You Ishmaelites ain't the children of God.
You know, and you guys trying so hard to make it like you're God's chosen people, but you're just outcasts, man. At the end of the day, you're a great nation, but you're just outcasts. You never received the promise, and that's why we'll never have any dealings with you. There's no Muslim on the face of the planet that's ever going to convince an Israelite to follow them. I'm sorry, okay, because you're not even included in this. Why would we leave what we're dealing with, which is the Lord and the promises to Israel, for promises that goes for Arabs? Or the Ishmaelites, should I say, really? Because that's what they're promoting. They're promoting the promises Ishmael. But that's not what's written. And they try to say, oh yeah, but the Quran and the Bible are the same. And no, they're not. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. You know, we want God. No, our God is promoting Israel. Okay? That's what we're promoting. Muhammad ain't an Israelite.
There's you know, the blessing of Ishmael was just to be great in number.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
If you read Job, it tells you the Lord increaseth the nations and he straighteneth them again. So if you're great in number in this time when the Lord